Now, I know I cut you off. I want you to finish your thought. If you had something else to say, I want you to finish your thought on the mindset issue.
I wanted to give an example back to Dr. Petrie's book on Jesus and the Last Supper.
Right.
If you haven't seen it, go back and watch our Rob and Caleb show from last April or whenever that was. Caleb can find the number if you need it. The point is this. He shows that an English reader today, we just read Passover. Passover. Jesus kept the Passover. I wanted to keep this Passover. And every time we see that, we kind of just put it in the same file folder, Passover. But what Dr. Petrie did, it was so nicely in his book, is we got to slow way down. And we got to look, okay, it might be the same word used each time, but when we go back and look from first century eyes, we see that actually that same term, depending on context, meant different things. And we have to pay attention to those different things. For example, Passover, we have examples where Pascha refers to the whole week of unleavened bread. We have Pascha referring to the meal at the evening of the 14th of Nisan. We also have Pascha referring to the actual lamb, right? So these are all different specific meanings that the same term has. So the same term in the first century can have multiple meanings.
Right.
Circumcision is the same way.
Right. And now I see where you're going. Okay.
Absolutely the same way. We can't just, like this guy reads, circumcision. And so every time he sees circumcision, Paul's talking against circumcision. With why is his brain is doing that? Because he has this one file folder called circumcision, or this one symbol. And every time he sees it, he's attributing it. He's thinking the same thing's being signified. And then that's demonstrably mistaken. That's not. And we can just, before we even look at the apostolic writings, we can look at what we call the circumcision text. Just like we're talking about the Messiah text, you can go and look at how is the word Messiah used at Qumran? How is it used in Josephus? How is it used in the Psalms? Right? How you can look at all these different Jewish texts broadly from the Second Temple period and look at different ways that Messiah was used. Okay, we do that with circumcision. We do that with the word Passover. And it's part of a healthy word study, if you're going to do word studies, is to include all the uses. And this is what we call lexicography, by the way, just a footnote. If you're a scholar of ancient Hebrew or ancient Aramaic or ancient Greek, what do? We don't have God didn't hand down this huge dictionary. It says, here's what all the words mean. Just look it up.
Or like the Urban Dictionary for the first century. Wouldn't that be nice? You uncover like Urban Dictionary, years 0
exactly.
through.
So what lexicographers do, these are the guys and gals, scholars who make the dictionaries. What they do is they say, okay, well, I have this word, Christos. Well, what does it mean? Well, I know how Paul uses it. I see how it's used in the Gospels, but we also see it in this other Hellenistic area. So, let's look. So when you make the dictionary, a good dictionary is going to touch on all these different usages,
right,
to help you get a semantic range for what that word meant. And that helps you then appreciate the nuance in any one particular place, such as Paul's use of Messiah language. Okay, we got to do the same thing with the word peritome, which is the word for circumcision, and the word for acrobustia, which is the word for foreskin. They are sometimes reflecting political agenda, sometimes theological agenda, sometimes philosophical or wisdom agenda. And in each of those, we see a different kind of Jewish sectarian bent or bias. And we have to recognize that when Paul's talking about the covenant with Abraham, he's by necessity, he's interacting with these other strong voices that are in the world today. Just like when we talk about Shabbat, right? In America, in Messianic circles or whatever, if you start talking about Shabbat, you're going to encounter these other voices that say no, not
Orthodox Judaism, Reformed Judaism,
or that it's
Messianic
done away, or that you're not doing
yeah.
it right, or it's not even for you, right?
Lutheranism,
these are all the voices that are out there, fueled through these different institutional traditions that have their preachers and their teachers and their scholars selling their interpretation.
Don't miss any clips from Messiah Matters by clicking the subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it so other people can see it too.